I want to talk to you today about something that's vital for your analysis of your donor file and for understanding as you build a monthly giving program. Monthly donor retention is one of the most vital things that you need to understand as a part of your monthly giving program. And the reason is this: it's expensive to acquire monthly donors, and it's hard to acquire monthly donors. And you need to understand what are the factors that are causing people to walk out the back door in your systems. And you need to understand if and how many people are walking out the back door. I came to an organization that had a good number of monthly donors, and what they didn't know and they weren't tracking was their donor retention rate. And so they were making poor decisions on acquisition because they thought it cost one number to acquire a donor. It didn't, it cost a different one. They were estimating donor retention by just multiplying monthly income by the number of donors they were acquiring on the spot, not taking into account retention, not taking into account the number of donors that are going to quit over time. And because of that, they were making poor investment decisions with their money. And so I had to immediately revamp and say, okay, let's go figure out how many donors are we losing every month? Why and when are they losing them? And let's go stop losing donors. Before we go spend another $1 million on donor acquisition, let's make some good decisions with the donor data we have. I'm going to give you just a quick example here. This is made up data. It's not from any organization, but it's around monthly donor retention. So if you look up here in this spreadsheet, we've got the months. So this is since the donor was acquired or since the group of donors is acquired. So this is looking at donor data as if you had a one point in time set of acquisition going on, and then you didn't acquire any more donors from that point forward. We know that's not reality. You're going to be acquiring and losing donors all the time, but you can still do the same analysis and do it based on when donors come on the file and at what month do they quit giving. And so in this example here, we start out with 10,000 donors in month 1. We come all the way over here to month 24, and we end up with 4,188 donors. So you can see here we're losing almost 6,000 donors over that period of time. Now, this isn't abnormal. You will lose monthly donors. You're not going to keep 100% of them. And understanding when you lose them, where you lose them, it's really vital to building a healthy monthly giving program. And so what we can look at here is at the end of year 1, over here in month 12, we have 7,104 donors, or a retention rate of 71%. Retention rate is how many donors are staying. Attrition rate is how many donors are leaving. So the opposite of that, about 29%, would be how many donors, the attrition rate of how many donors are leaving. And then at the end of year 2, we have a 61% annual retention rate. So that's based off of the 13th month and the 24th month. And so you can see over here, the formula is point in time donor count divided by the starting point. And so for the first one, it's 7,104 divided by 10,000. And then for the second year, looking at just year over year annual retention, it's $4,188, or sorry, 4,188 donors divided by 67.84. And that gives you the retention rate. What we're going to do is let's come up here and let's figure out our attrition rate by month. So in the first month, it's going to be 0%. We haven't lost any donors yet. In the second month, it's going to be equals 1 minus this number divided, remember, point in time donor count divided by the starting point. And the 1 minus gives you what we're looking for is attrition rate, which is the evil brother of retention rate. We're going to take this all the way over here to the right. And we can see here that in month 2, 0.52%. You can manually go through all these and look and go, oh my gosh, we have a spike here. Let's do this. Let's select this row. Let's select this row. And let's create a little chart. Okay. So you can see in this chart, attrition rate versus month. You can see we've got a spike here, 5% in month 2. We got a spike here in month 9, 6%. Big spike here in month 17. Another spike in 19, in 21, and in 24, 6% donor attrition. So you can quickly see you've got some good points. At month 11, you only have a 1% attrition. And in month 18, you'll have a 1% attrition. And then you've got some definite spikes here. So what we want to do for those spikes is we want to figure out what's causing that. What's causing people to leave? I would guess, and just based on data I've seen at other organizations, the month 2 spike is people who call in after the first month and say, "Oh, I didn't know this was monthly," when they see their credit card billed. Or their spouse calls in and says, "I didn't know we were being charged for this monthly," and they ask for that charge to be removed. And so that can be avert a little bit with an email leading into that second month, just notifying the donor that they're going to be charged again and letting them opt out then if they want to, which I think is just good donor care more than it is a decrease in your attrition rate. But in that series of welcome series of communications that you send to donors, just building trust along the way and showing them how their money's being used is going to help decrease your attrition rate in that second month. We also see here in the data a big bump in month 9. I've seen this in other organizations. Don't know why month 9. It's just something that's pretty common. So what I'm going to do here is what I would do is around month 7, send them something that reminds them of the reason why they chose to start giving in the first place. So if you have beneficiaries and you can send them a little drawing from a child or a note of thanks or a little magnet with a photo in it, there's a lot of different things that you can send here. Nothing too significant, but something that reminds them of the work and why they gave in the first place. That can help decrease these kind of big spikes here. Some organizations, we see a big spike around month 13, 12 kind of time frame. What I have seen and tested is some organizations send a thank you card around month 12, end of month 12 into the month 13. And it actually has, in testing this, it has a negative effect on your attrition rate. The reason is that after a year, somebody gets an anniversary card saying, "Thanks so much for your year of giving." And we think, "Oh, we're just showing gratitude and thanking a donor." The donor thinks, "Oh, I've done this for a year. I'm done. I've done my part." And they quit giving. So that's something that you might consider is maybe you send that thank you communication at a different point in the year, maybe month 15 or month 18. A lot of times, once you get your donors past month 12, a lot of them are going to stay for a long time. And so we want to maximize that ability for them to stay 5, 7, 10 years on your file. So if you want some ideas on what you can do for what we call those wow moments, here is a URL, and I'll drop this into the comments, that you can go there and download this free ebook and grab a copy of this, and it gives you 25 wow moments on that page. A lot of them are listed out there, and you can go through and look at what does your organization already have in assets and tools. What are some of the things that you could use to delight your donors and make them feel a part of your cause, a part of your community, and make them feel like they want to continue giving to your organization and to not fall into the trap of quitting because they haven't heard from you or don't feel like they are connected. So thanks for your time. I hope this was helpful. One of the keys that you need to take forward as you're building your monthly giving program is making sure that you address attrition and making sure that you drop that attrition rate as low as possible. A really healthy organization is going to have an attrition rate in the kind of less than 20%. So retention rate of over 80% of those donors. That's what a really healthy organization will have. And if you can drive it down to there, you're going to have donors that are going to stay a long time and provide a lot of great revenue to your organization and help a lot of people, which is the most important thing. Thanks for your time.